Today we're driving the 2025 Mazda 3 2.5S premium front-wheel drive manual hatchback. I have been looking forward to driving the manual Mazda 3 for years. I think the last manual non-Miata Mazda that I drove was a Mazda CX-5. Yes, the Mazda CX-5 back in the day had a manual transmission. I think that's when they did the first launch at Laguna Seca and everyone drove it around the track. That was pretty cool. So I'm very excited to share this with you guys today. We have a 2.5 liter Skyactiv inline 4-cylinder engine. It makes 191 horsepower, 186 pound-feet of torque. It's front-wheel drive. We have a very nice interior, and keeping with what Mazda has done here with the Mazda 3, they've given us some more premium features in this premium model with the manual transmission. We have a Bose sound system, which is class leading, and for the money, an excellent sound system for around $32,000. As tested, this is $32,565. Everyone always asks me, what's a good affordable first car? Well, this is it. It's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit tighter, a little bit more cramped in the back seat, but I'm very comfortable in the front. We've got a manual transmission. I wonder how many of these Mazda actually sells, because this is a fantastic little formula. There's zero rev hang here. This kind of feels like an old school manual daily driver that just used to be sold on the regular by a lot of different manufacturers, and now it's pretty few and far between. There's this, there's the Civic, there's the Jetta. Am I missing anything else with a manual transmission that isn't a sporty version of a hatchback? I think that's about it. All right, let's walk you guys around this, and then we'll give you guys some driving impressions. This is painted in Soul Crystal Red Metallic, a $595 option. We have 18-inch wheels, a good-looking exterior. What are these? 215 45 R18s. Not the best tires in winter conditions. It's a little bit slippery out today. Lots of salt dust on the roads. Lots of ice as I'm slipping in the parking lot, walking you guys around this. Fun little car though. Neutral handling, really comfortable. Good tech. We owned a Mazda CX-30 for a couple of years and really enjoyed the car. The really nice thing about the Mazda 3 is that it carries on the same level of interior quality, build, fit, finish, material choice as pretty much everything else in Mazda's lineup. You're just kind of choosing sides at this point. A little bit of a cutout here in the driver's seat for me to put my legs. I'm 5'10", seated behind myself. I'm pretty comfortable back here. About an inch of headroom. Nice armrest. No rear climate vents or anything like that, but this is a small enough interior that it should heat and cool pretty easily. If you have kids, you're probably not going to fit car seats back here comfortably, but if they're forward-facing, you might be able to. You've got ISOFIX points right here. The front passenger seat is pushed way back. Let me see if I can get that forward some. There we go. That's a more realistic position for it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I mean, it's enough space. It's a tighter cabin. You're not going to be wanting to get one of these if you're 6'4". You're probably going to want to get something a little bit larger. But really nice looking interior, and the manual is actually quite good. It's not Mazda MX-5 levels of feedback from the shifter and tightness, but we'll show you guys how it drives here in a little bit. Good size hatch back here. We even get a compact spare tire. Joy of joys. Reverse camera, clean that off while we're back here. Quiet engine. Takes regular fuel, rated for 26 miles a gallon in the city, 36 on the highway for a 30 mpg combined rating. This inline 4-cylinder is reasonably torquey, gets good fuel economy. It's a fun engine. It's pretty quiet, that's my only complaint, but again, this is kind of an economy car that is a bit sportier to drive. Takes 0 W20 oil. It feels lightweight, feels nimble. It's a fun little package. Ooh, heavy hood. Weighs just shy of 3,100 pounds, so still reasonably lightweight. And it looks good. It's a lower, sleeker, sexier hatchback design. Anyway, we've walked you guys around many Mazda 3s over the years. So you guys know the deal. Let's go see what this manual transmission is all about. Down and over to the left, into reverse. Little tiny reverse camera, mirrors flip over. Sunroof, place to put your sunglasses. Mazda's infotainment, which kind of has this little scroll wheel controller. I don't know if you can use this as a touchscreen in this car or not. It's different between some models. Nope, you can't. Honestly, that's fine. Once you get used to the quick access controls in these Mazdas, they actually work really, really well. Lots of customization with this Mazda, from your safety settings to your in-vehicle displays. We get a little head-up display in there. Not sure if you can see it with the snow, but it shows our speed. Safety settings, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist. This has adaptive cruise control. We'll test that out on the highway. That's exciting. We've got traction control off, 2-seat memory settings right here, gauge cluster illumination, auto up-down windows on all 4 corners. Bravo, Mazda. And there's your shift action with this 6-speed manual transmission. All right, off we go. Light steering, light clutch. Revs drop immediately. This doesn't have rev matching or anything like that for your downshifts, but for your upshifts, it almost will just kind of drop revs right to where you need to be in the next gear, and then you can just clutch out. It's really nice. Engine is responsive, easy to heel toe downshift. Pedal placement is perfect. I mean, it's a Mazda. What did you expect? Honestly, it's just refreshing for me to drive a modern manual transmission that isn't terrible and that doesn't have a ton of rev hang. Traction control allows a little bit of wheel slip on this icy road here. Yeah, these all-season tires have miserable winter performance. Pretty sketchy today in the snow, if I'm being honest. All right, off we go. It is 15 degrees Fahrenheit out today, and in these temps at basically sea level, it's pretty quick. Shifter is light, clutch is light. It's a comfortable manual transmission to operate. It does encourage faster shifting though, because of the way the revs drop so quickly between gears. Yeah, it's fun. If you're a manual diehard and you need an efficient, cost-effective commuter, this is it. I like this a lot. Old school manual driving experience with all the modern amenities you could want. No auto stop start or any of that nonsense. Pretty easy to get a smooth start out of it too. That 1-2 shift I'm still kind of working with, but that's okay. The clutch does have a pretty long throw. All right, round a corner. Traction off. We're gonna watch out for some of the ice and snow around here. Pretty neutral chassis here from what I've discovered earlier today driving around. Taller gearing, but it doesn't feel too tall. Sitting here on the highway, 70 miles an hour, about 2,500 RPM. Let's see how adaptive cruise control works. Curious about this. This is our closest following distance right here. Not too bad. Can I downshift? Yes, I can. Nice. And it'll resume. And then behind us is Paul Edelston from Braid Wheels, Team Illuminata. Look at that. He's got the rally van out. That's awesome. Quiet at speed. Much better NVH on the highway compared to the new Civic, for example. I like the driving position here. You feel like you're sat a little bit lower in the cockpit. This car does have a high belt line, like the CX-30. You know, the visibility isn't amazing here. Short windows, shorter windshield, but you do get used to it. Nice big mirrors, good visibility out of the back. Give you guys a look at what the rally van is like here. There's Paul. There he is. Heel toe downshift. Traction's back on. Traction turns back on automatically when you engage adaptive cruise control. Understandable. Whew. Red line in second is 61, 62 miles an hour. I mean, for only having 191 horsepower, it's pretty quick for what it is. It's not a front-wheel drive Miata, but it's not bad. It is missing a mechanical handbrake. Ride quality is decent. It seems to smooth over most rough roads pretty well. Haven't had a really harsh impact. I mean, it's definitely on the stiffer side, but it doesn't feel really that out of sorts compared to everything else in the class. I'm comfortable, even on these 18-inch wheels. If I owned one of these, I think the first thing I would do is go out and get a proper set of tires for it. It is let down by this tire choice. Do not have a lot of confidence in these tires in the wet today at these temperatures. Pretty cold outside. Really fluid driving experience, and it's an easy manual transmission to pilot. A little spin in a second there. It has a soft rev limiter at about 6,400 RPM. Quiet over bumps too. This is a rough road, a lot of tiny little potholes and patchwork. Good NVH over this. Alright, into third. hard on the brakes, into second. A little bit of rotation from the rear there. Open differential action there. Like any Mazda should be, it's fun to drive. I feel like Mazda actually cared about the fact that it has a manual transmission. It's tuned well. The interaction with the shifter, the clutch, everything works really nicely. That's what no rev hang looks like. All right, let's see what the condition is of this exit ramp. And we'll see if we can push this around a corner a little bit. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Still pretty dusty, but that's okay. Yep, see how neutral it is? Rear end just kind of steps out a little bit. It's fun. Let's draw some conclusions here on the Mazda 3 manual hatchback. I am pleasantly surprised by all aspects of this car, specifically the manual transmission. Power is good, shift action feels about right for what this car is. This is one of the more luxurious hatchback options in the class. But it's also fun to drive and sporty. I mean, this doesn't quite have the same handling capability as the Civic Si. For one, these tires are really holding it back. But it's not bad. It's a neutral, enjoyable chassis. It's a fun, luxurious, nicely equipped manual hatchback, and kind of a class above some of its competition in terms of interior feel, quality. I like the formula here. It's not some half-assed effort to put a manual transmission in a car just to say that they have it. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to be a wrap on my thoughts in the 2025 Mazda 3 2.5S Premium 6-speed front-wheel drive manual hatchback. Good time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Darn Mazda chime. Top tip for avoiding that is just put your seatbelt on before you start up the car. this engine seems to really thrive in that 3,000 to 5,000 RPM range. But still, power builds pretty progressively right up until red line, and then you can feel it fall off. It's not the smoothest manual transmission to drive. It definitely rewards good clutch behavior, but that's part of the reason why you buy a manual. It's for that challenge. It's for that enjoyment factor. You can drive it smoothly, but you have to drive it well. I want to buy one of these, store it in a warehouse, so that my firstborn son can use it as his first car someday. Oh, it's great. It's just a good time. You can even customize things like the turn signal volume. How cool is that? And 75 miles an hour on the highway, it's quiet. It's pretty good. Alright, that's truly the end of the video. Thanks for sticking around. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you later.